Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of InRange. We are actually doing another mud test today with the Scar 17 or the Scar Heavy. This is a 308 variant of the Scar, piston run, semi-automatic, used at least to some degree within the US military. And we actually borrowed this from someone and shot it at a match, and when we received it from him, he had modified the gas system for his suppressor, and we had a couple issues with it, and so we wanted to let you know that if you've seen that video yet, we have actually fixed that. We've restored this gas jet to the original military spec, so therefore this gun is unmodified in that regard, so this should be a fair test of the mud. I'm going to go ahead and fire off 5 rounds in just normal semi-auto clean. We will do our normal thing of mudding up the gun. By the way, we're using 308, Austrian surplus Hertenberger, so it's quality ammo too. All right. Uh-oh, if I don't put the sights up, someone's gonna say I don't have sights, right? There we go. Now we got sights. All right, 5 rounds. It's a nice gun. It's pleasant to shoot. It's pretty sealed up, I think. We're gonna find out what happens here in a moment. On safe.
He said under no circumstances were we to get it dirty, right?
Right, that's what he said, correct. Okay. All right, here we go. It doesn't balance well on the wheelbarrow. I'm going to give that a demerit. Actually, let's get the front here too.
Get a little more, yeah.
Got to get the gas system. Otherwise, we're going to hear otherwise. Let's get the other side. That's about as bad as it's ever going to get.
I think it is.
So let's give it a try. I shook it briefly. Off safe. 5 rounds. I'm covered in filth. I'm going to put it back on safe, and we're going to dump more mud on it. Wow, that was bad.
Was that a fully loaded mag?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And it didn't malfunction on you, you just stopped after 5 rounds?
Correct. I decided to give it more mud since we had 0 issues.
Inconceivable. Something must have gone wrong with the mud.
Trying to make sure that it goes wrong, right? We're biased against the Scar because this was not provided to us by Dixie Wasteworks. All right, here we go. I'll dump the mag this time. Ready? Yep. All right, I'm not sure what happened. All right, just ran the action.
I'm getting covered in mud too now.
Locked open. I have another mag. Should we try it?
Yeah.
I would say that that one minor malfunction was minor.
Any idea what it was?
I couldn't tell.
The trigger drop?
It did.
Okay.
Yep. Should we mud it again, or should we go with the mag?
Do 1 or 2 rounds and then put some more mud on.
All right, here we go. One thing about piston guns is they get really hot near the piston. That's why I like DI. Anyways, do this again.
And this time, don't shake it off.
All right, not at all. I'll just eat more mud.
Yes.
I'm gonna eat a lot of this. Hold on.
You do have a whole bunch of mud on you.
I am, yeah, beyond filthy. You know what? The recoil 308 kind of causes that.
You know, there's no mud on the Gorka, it's just on your face.
All right, here we go. All right.
That's pretty effective. I think we can say that passed.
I'm dirty enough to go ahead and say, and the gun is dirty enough to go ahead and say that the Scar 17 Heavy has passed the mud test. It had one minor malfunction, which I do not know what it was. Ran the action, chambered around, and it worked perfectly. So, multiple mag dumps, no problems really, except for one time to run in the bolt. Changed the mag even, still didn't have a problem. So we're going to add this to the list of guns that have actually passed the InRangeTV mud test. These are unusual. We saw the AR pass, we saw the Luger pass, the semi-L passed, and now the Scar 17H or Scar 17 Heavy has also passed.
And what we can say is that they typically pass when they're sealed up. It's not about tolerances inside the gun, it's about allowing mud to get into the gun in the first place.
No, and I would agree with that. When this bolt is shut, this gun's sealed up pretty tight. There's really not a lot of ingress path there. Yeah. And this being a short stroke gas system piston, and obviously they've done a good job of mitigating mud and entry of filth into that. In fact, you can see that it's a closed area right this moment, except when it's cycling. See that? So it's open now. If there was mud getting in there now, that'd be a problem. But when it's in battery, that's actually sealed up.
Yeah.
So I think what we've seen here is they've designed this gun in a way, even actually the charging handle, get in on that too. The side without the handle is sealed up, and the side with it is also sealed up. Yeah. So this bolt kind of acts like its own dust cover that you don't have to manually close. So I'm going to say that in terms of ingress of filth, mud, and dirt, the SCAR 17H is designed extremely well. I think it's actually a really nice 308 rifle, at least in terms of how we've used it. We've heard stories about it not having great service life, but we can't really vouch for that. For our applications, it matches in and otherwise. Those kind of training events that we do, this is pretty much the best of breed 308 semi-auto I've personally dealt with and handled. So it also passed the mud test, which gives it another kind of boon. So guys, if you like this kind of content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We are a wholly Patreon supported project. We get no funding from YouTube at all. It helps me get the mud out of my mouth to buy the water to do that. If you can't do that, please subscribe to the channel. And more importantly, because we've demonetized ourselves, we're very, very, very reliant on you to share the content. So please do so. Share it wide, share it everywhere, because that's what's going to bring eyeballs to the channel. Thanks for watching.